What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of StreamKey. We're on episode 154 today, actually, that's crazy. That's it. I don't know. It just feels like I don't know. It just feels like a lot. I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, dude, episode 154. We got a special guest today, Nagata Lock. What's going on, man? How you doing?
What is good? What is good? How we all doing this morning?
All good, dude. How about you?
I'm chilling. It's Labor Day for everyone. And I was like, yo, I actually have a free Monday to do StreamKey. I'm all about it. So
Hell yeah.
I'm glad to be here today.
Yeah, dude. Glad to have you. Glad we could get you in on another Monday. I know typical Mondays are tough for you, but we like having you on, man. It's been too inconsistent that you've been on this show. So,
yeah,
we'll have to fix that. I'll have to talk to your boss, see if we can get you off those Mondays,
Oh, God. I'll be free every Monday when I'm unemployed, I tell you right now.
Whatever. Sadomi, what's going on, man? The awesome co-host. Good to see you, man. Hopefully you're having a good day, dude.
I am. I'm glad Nagata's here, too. We can get some nice back and forth and up and downs and left and rights going.
Is that it, though?
Well, also some up, down, down talk, which
actually, yeah, there will be some up, down, down talk. But first, we have another topic. And by the way, guys, if you have any questions, make sure to @ me and @ TRUgaming in the chat. We'll answer your questions about your own Twitch stream, the topics we're talking about, whatever it is. Also, be mindful, the stream's kind of dropping some frames today. We're also recording while we're doing this, so if there's ever anything in the stream that you're missing, when the recording goes live, this should be all good on that side. We're just kind of having some difficulties with like Discord and whatnot today. But yeah, so let's get into it. So first topic we have is Twitch will take down Twitch Sings in January of next year. Twitch says it decided to close the platform to invest in broader tools and services that will help support and grow the entire music community on Twitch. So that's very indescriptive. It doesn't really tell us anything at all. Like, I don't know. We'll start with Sadomi on this one. You look like you want to talk about Twitch Sings right now, dude.
So Twitch Sings was a pretty cool thing they did. But there's two main reasons why they're getting rid of it. The first one is that licensing for music is a pain in the butt. Have you guys, like, even better, the Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remasters that came out, I'm pretty sure 50% of their time went to licensing all the music on that soundtrack they tried to get back. Yeah, because each is just so difficult and so expensive. And I'm pretty sure that Twitch Sings does not bring new people to the platform to the point where Twitch is like, this is really super cost effective to run. And sometimes they operate things like at a loss because, things work well, people like them. But when it comes to licensing, you got to keep upping that like every year, every 2 years, every few months, depending on what the license is. And it's different for each different artist. So I know if you have like Queen on one side, that's a whole different label than if you were doing like Metallica or for, I don't know, Katy Perry, whatever the young people listen to nowadays.
Still listening to Katy Perry, right? Totally, yeah, for sure.
Right? Listen, sometimes I feel like a plastic bag, but I mean, one thing Twitch Sings and a plastic bag have in common is they're both going in a trash bag.
God damn. Okay. All right, dude. He's really coming out here today, Chad. It's gonna be one of those. All right. Okay, he's coming out swinging. It's gonna be a weird show. I hope you guys are ready. Nagata, what do you got about Twitch Sings, man?
I'm going to tell you this right now that this is temporary. All right. They're going to take this thing down. And in about 4 months, when they have a proper launch, you're going to see a program where it's like now Amazon Sings or God knows what. And it's like, you're gonna come in, it's like, do you want to sing on Twitch? Fantastic. It's $15 a month or $20 a month or whatever works for you. And you are going to pay to have a license to the Amazon Music library, which will conveniently now be an umbrella over Twitch. So like right now, it's kind of just like, it's a free for all. It's like, okay, you've got people who can pretty much sing whatever they want, however they want. You know, there's not nearly as many viewers, or from Twitch's perspective, revenue that is substantiating maintaining, you know, the amount of like stress on the servers and whatever else that you needed to maintain Twitch things. So you're like, okay, sure, no problem. If we're going to do this, and there's clearly an audience for it, whether it's a huge audience or not is something unto itself, but if we're going to do this, we need to find a way to get a cut out of this. You know, so like you take it back to the drawing board. It's like we have a service, we have like the logistics, everything we need. We just need a new revenue stream. So it comes back out and it's like, hey, guess what? We have the Amazon Music library. And thanks to a collaboration between X amount of music labels, because right now the music labels are not in the good books of anybody on Twitch, because hello, DMCA is a thing. So it's like, in collaboration with all these labels, you can do Twitch Sings again, or Amazon Sings, whatever you want to call it, and it's only going to cost you fill in the blank, you know, something relatively reasonable, where people are like, you know what, I do want to sing, you know what, it is only $10 or whatever else it is, sure. And now Twitch is actually making a marginal increase on the revenue that they essentially were not getting ahead of time. So like, as soon as I saw this, I'm like, that's fine, hit me up in 6 months, you know, when this is relaunched with a money source behind it. I'm like, okay, we're off to the races.
That's interesting. I can see it coming back as like Amazon Sings or something like that. It would make a lot of sense for them to start charging you money for it. Do you think that with this, you know, the theory of Amazon Sings, do you think that they would try to work in something to where you can listen to music in the first place, just streaming and listening to music, if you're using, let's say, Amazon Music?
Are you asking me specifically? Sorry.
Yeah, like I'm just wondering if you can see that happening. If they're gonna allow us to, like, if it's gonna come back and allow us to sing the songs anyway, you know what I mean? But like, why not just make it work so that you can just listen to the music through Amazon Music? You know what I mean? Make it an extension so that, you know, only certain people that have the Amazon Music can listen to the music with you.
Well, I've been saying from the get-go, when they had the whole DMCA scare, I guess it's been what, 4 months now, around there.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
When they had the initial DMCA scare, I said, this is inevitable that they are going to turn around and charge people X amount of money to use whatever's under the umbrella. Again, it always comes down to the umbrella. I don't know how extensive the Amazon Music umbrella is, you know, but if you are willing to pay X amount of money, $5, $10, whatever it is, to be able to play music on your stream, I'd be very curious to see even if you could still archive it, because you run into all kinds of like weird redistribution issues. But the live experience, at least with Twitch, the live experience is far more important than the video on demand experience. You know what I mean? If you want a VOD experience, you hit up YouTube. Let's be real. You know, so but if you're live and you're paying $5 a month, $10 a month, and you can use any music within the Amazon Music library, I feel that's a win. And I saw that right from the beginning. As soon as the whole scare thing came up and all these folks are running like dead silent streams or like whatever else, I'm like, oh, this is not a good look for anybody, you know? And like, your viewership is not, everybody's viewership really got adjusted. People find workarounds, yada, yada, yada. But the experience has been adjusted, and not necessarily in a positive way, you know, and Twitch has to be aware of that. They had to know right from the get-go. So it's like, I looked at that news, I'm like, it's the same thing. Maybe they get announced at the same time, like, hey, you want a Twitch Sings license, you want an Amazon Sings license, you want an Amazon Music license, you know, you can have live streams under our umbrella, under our music umbrella, and you can sing to your heart's content. You know, you could do whatever you please, except your VODs are going silent. You know, I feel like that's going to be the middle ground in this situation.
It'd be so worth. I would sign up for that in a heartbeat. I've already said to my viewers that, like, if Spotify were to make a platform for Twitch, like basically like a Twitch streaming service where like you could play music, listen to music, and not have any issues with anything, I would switch. I'd at least go over there a couple days a week in a heartbeat. I wouldn't like 100% switch, obviously, because that'd be stupid. But I would definitely go over there and, you know, see what it was all about, because that would just make it, like, it just makes it more fun when you feel a little bit more free to do your own thing. You know what I mean? Like, when you're restricted to not playing music that you like, and like maybe there's a new album and you want to share it with your people, but you can't. Like, for me, I know that like when the new Logic album came out, all I could think about was just sharing that album with people. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to play it 24/7. I just really enjoyed the album, and not being able to do that was a huge bummer. So for instances like that, I think that it's definitely worth trying to monetize on, you know, selling a license of some sort to Twitch streamers. It would make so much sense.
I know other services like Pretzel Rocks and Monster Cat do a similar licensing thing with their tunes. So I mean, it's possible, but again, when it comes to more popular titles and everything, you also have to remember Twitch isn't like that big in the mainstream for a lot of people to take notice. Like Twitch is, even though we're almost centered around it, Twitch is minuscule. Infinitely more people know about like Logic's new album than Twitch.
Oh, for
like, Logic's bigger than Twitch. Like, just so.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people knew about. I mean, it didn't get the traction that like it could have. If I mean, I don't know. It still doesn't have that many plays compared to like most of his music. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like I kind of disagree with that just based on the numbers on Spotify. You know what I mean? Because like he's just now getting into the tens of millions of streams on individual songs from that album. You know what I mean? It took him like, I feel like it took him a couple of weeks to get into the tens of millions or something like that, maybe even longer. So I mean, I kind of understand that, but at the same time, it's just Twitch it's definitely coming into the mainstream for sure. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's coming, but from a corporate perspective, I don't think it's quite there yet. Where we'll see a lot of major, like Twitch is still niche. Twitch is still super niche, and with nicheities, we will not probably see. The number one thing we need to see is government legislation to adjust the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, because that determines that was made because of Napster. Now I'm not sure how old some people in the chat may be who may not understand what Napster was, but before the days of Spotify, there's a thing called LimeWire and Napster and Frostfire for all you people who are too hip to use LimeWire, where you could download a lot of files through file sharing methods. Some that you had the rights to and some that you probably didn't. And some that were, you know, obvious baits of others, such as Mr. Clinton talking about certain things. And until we get something that a company or a group that really makes a heavy push for changing the DMCA, we won't see major music licensing deals push out to major platforms or update it for the social media space of 2020.
Well, I feel like right now the music industry is still in a win-win spot still. So they're not gonna make that push, right? This always just turns into grassroots wants music, grassroots plays music, corporate goes, whoa, what do you think you're doing? Stop it. Then you stop it, and then you find a workaround. Corporate finds something else that's interesting for them, and then you start the whole cycle over again. It's been like this for 20 years. Napster, the whole DMCA thing is like 98. I think that whole thing like started the ball rolling, right? And it's like, okay, you know, maybe a little bit longer. It doesn't matter. Anyway, and when you look at it, it's like these things are cyclical. You know, you have the music industry as a whole. It's like they keep an eye on big fish, right? They keep an eye on the whales. And like, as we said here, like Twitch is, as much as we love Twitch is essentially still niche, right? So you have a situation where, and I think it may have been on this show, we had this discussion before, where it's just like, this probably only came up because some record label executive was at home during quarantine and their 14-year-old is watching whatever streamer play Fortnite while a song is playing from their label. And they're like, whoa, what is this? You know, it's like, oh, this is Twitch. Be like, really? Let me have a discussion with our lawyer. And the lawyer's like, do we know what a Twitch is? And the lawyer's just like, no. It's like, well, guess what? They're playing our music unlicensed. Like, oh, let's solve that problem, you know? And so the whole thing starts all over again. And like now, and I can't speak for everybody, but if you pay attention to enough streamers on Twitch, they have gone right back to playing their music. You know, they just like a couple of months have passed by. It's like, maybe I'll test the water a little bit, you know, and there was no DMCA strike. There was no nothing. And they've gone right back to doing exactly what they're going to do. And then, you know, I'll see you all around next April when we have the next gigantic partner get banned or get a DMCA strike. And we're like, oh my gosh, DMCA, I can't believe it. And it's because everybody's got the memory of a goldfish. Like, honestly, like they've all got goldfish memories. not like we don't go through this like once a year or once every 18 months.
We do though. I was about to say every year, exactly near April, we get another. I think it's because it's quarter time. The quarter ends.
Yeah.
Or the financial like calendar ends. So I think that's having something to do with it. And like it's so cyclical at this point where I'm just like, I might write on my hold on. I'm writing this on my calendar. DMCA check. It's gonna be on a Friday. I already know it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, we all know a guy who just got a DMCA strike. I don't know exactly what it was for, but Mike Dub got hit with one last week, and he's trying really hard to fight it right now.
Yeah, he's chasing down the artist and everything, trying to sort that stuff out. Yeah. Because like that's a situation unto itself, because like you have just chatters who watch videos between like the amount of like Overwatch streamers that like turn around and like watch videos while they're waiting in like competitive DPS or whatever. Like that's what I always see. But it's like Micah's in the same spot, like he's just like, okay, I'm gonna look at this video, except that this video on YouTube happens to have a music track from this artist, and then an automated system is just like, F you, Mike Dub. He's like, what just happened? Like I didn't play any music on my side. What's going on? And so like I know he's been like chasing like the artist down, or like I forget how that worked. I know that he's trying to get this sorted out. But it's just so random. Like it's completely random, like how this works. And what do you do now? You just like you take your strike and move on. Like hope for the best for the next time. Can you not look at videos under the apparent like I don't know issue where there could be a track within another video that is playing on your stream, just as like you're like burning time, like he may have got that thing while he was waiting in like a a Red Dead RP queue, like it could be like anything, and you're just like, oh great, so as Sadomi pointed out, this needs adjustment, and that adjustment is going to be really difficult to push through, because right now the music industry it's making too much to make that adjustment for the people, even though like in the long run it's probably in the best interest of everybody involved to just create a culture of, hey, music's everywhere, you should pay X amount of money per month, just like you pay for electricity, just like you pay for gas, just like you pay for everything else. It's just like, hey, this is just a part of life. Every last person listens to music. If you want to pay $10 a month for the rest of your life, just like you pay for electricity $50 a month, whatever it is, sure. And you ingrain it in the culture, and everybody's happy because it's a volume game at that point, so.
Yeah. But again, like you said, the win-win situation, it's too good for record livers. It's too good for them. They get free money just by existing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and like I really don't watch even YouTube videos or anything anymore on my channel, just at the risk that there's something in there that that'll give me a DMCA strike, because it's really not worth me risking it. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it's worth anybody risking it, to be honest. I don't know. No. Like it's crazy to me that that there are so many people who still listen to music on their streams. It's crazy to me that there's people who still risk it and go out and watch YouTube videos or have songs in their alerts, any of this stuff, or who don't delete their VODs, you know what I mean? Or clips featuring I don't recommend going through all of them to see which ones have music in them. For me, I deleted everything. You know what I mean? Because I don't I'm not saying you should, but I'm saying it might not be the worst idea. Because eventually what's going to happen is oh, well, nobody else is doing this live anymore. What else can we do to make some money off of this? You know what I mean? Let's go through the old shit. Let's see what's backlog that people forgot about. Because it's going to happen eventually. If nothing gets fixed with the DMCA strikes, it's going to happen. And it's not worth it, man. It's not worth risking it. I don't it's fun to listen to music on stream or watch YouTube videos, but it's a lot less fun when you start getting DMCA strikes.
I will say, when it comes to protecting yourself for DMCA strikes, prevention is better than anything. So just if you don't own it, don't use it. Most streamers, 95% of them can probably get away with not using certain tracks on their streams. And I say, don't go through and delete all your clips, because I feel like that's a decision you're going to regret later down the road. Personally, for me,
archive them.
Yeah, you can download them.
Or if you can download them, then delete them. Yeah, fine, cool, good, do that. But don't just get rid of them and have no backup for them, because let's say that 5 years down the road, you're done with streaming, you moved on with your life. It happens, people change. You're gonna look back, oh, let me look at those good times again, look at those photos, all those clips I made, that funny moment, and then they're just gone. You don't have them anymore.
True. I'd still say you should download them and delete them, just because like those good times could be fun to go back and look on, but those good times could also be what gets you a DMCA strike. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But also,
just-
if like again, look in the future term, if you're done with Twitch, we wouldn't really care either.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, that's a good point, but like, I don't know. I would not risk keeping those up. Like, if it's not in my control, I'm not going to let anybody take control of it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to let anybody like take something of mine and, you know, potentially end my streaming career with it. Like, it's not worth that for me. Like, yeah, I could start a new channel. I could do a bunch of things, but I just it's not worth it for me. It's just not. Like, it might I'm not going to say that you need to agree with me on this. You know what I mean? Like, do whatever you want, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. Everybody has a risk reward and like what's worth doing and what's not worth doing. So use your best judgment. Don't get a DMCA strike, and if you do play music, don't complain when you do get a DMCA strike. You know what I mean? That's all I got on
gamble.
that. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Next topic we have Xavier Woods will continue to make content on Twitch and YouTube despite WWE's ban on all third party platforms like Twitch, Cameo, YouTube. So the WWE, I almost said UFC. The WWE made a statement not allowing their entertainers to basically make money on third-party websites like Twitch, YouTube, Cameo, stuff like that, using their wrestling personality or personas or whatever it is. Like, I know they can't use the name directly. The WWE is basically just trying to make some money, I'm pretty sure, and they're realizing that they're not getting anything from these third-party websites. So they're trying really, really hard to control their entertainers. And I know Xavier Woods has come out and said that he's just going to keep streaming until basically he can't. There's another one, Paige something, I can't remember her name right now, or I can't remember her real name that she had to switch to, but there's a few that have come out and said that they're going to continue to, you know, to do things in the gaming world because they're enjoying it. They're obviously making money, enough money to where the WWE is like, hey, we want some of that, you should stop. You know what I mean? I don't know. Let's start with Nagata on this one. What do you got, man?
So it's important to understand like the origin of where this like exploded from. So there's a performer under their roster, and like her name is Lana, or her persona on WWE is named Lana. Okay, so Lana took a commercial deal with Bang Energy Drink, which we're all familiar with, right? So she has 2 social media accounts. She has the stuff that goes under her real name, which is like CJ something or the other, and she has the Lana account. But the Lana account is significantly larger in terms of its brand awareness. So she posted the commercial for Bang on her WWE Instagram, and it exploded. And this is where the problem started, because until this point, this is like the music thing all over again with the executive and the 14-year-old. This is like that all over again. Vince McMahon is just like, whatever, let the kids play their video games on the Twitch, you know. And then Lana comes in with her millions of Instagram followers and is endorsing a product that WWE does not endorse. That, or most likely, and I don't know all their product line, but WWE probably has a competing drink, whether it's caffeinated or energy or whatever else, and whoever's under their umbrella is just like, whoa, what are you doing? You know, like you can't just like pump out this Bang Energy commercial. Like, who okayed this? And so McMahon's like, oh, no one did. This is a problem. And so like you launch an investigation. You realize that like anybody in your roster that's under the age of 30 has got a Twitch channel or a YouTube or an Instagram, or they're all like peddling products. Some of them own their own businesses, like all sorts of stuff. And WWE is just like, okay, this is clearly like getting out of hand. Because like once you start seeing like the revenue that is coming in from like some of these spaces, especially if you're multifaceted, you know, between God knows what, like TikTok and whatever else, it's like, oh, we should probably get a cut of this, considering that this company is who has been pushing your brand for X amount of years. Like the brand awareness would not even exist if the company hadn't originally created the Lana personality, or it's like you said, like Paige, like she goes by her real name, like Soraya Bevis now. So it's just like she's an interesting topic unto themselves, because like one of the things that came out of this news is that WWE is pushing the concept that they own the real names of the personalities that they've created on top. So basically what ended up happening was, like in Paige's case, she creates these accounts. She's under Paige WWE. She leaves the company. And so she basically took the brand awareness of Paige, applied it to the Soraya, and just kept going about her business. And the company's like, well, we built this like with you from the ground up. You changing your name doesn't change the fact that we own like the intellectual property behind this and what built this brand. And she's like, this is my real name. So now you have a conflict. So like they're just like, well, she's not under contract. You can't punish her. You can take her to court. Good luck trying to explain to an arbitrary judge why you own someone else's real name. But everybody else that's in the company can be punished. And the thing is, like WWE, they're a spiteful company. I love my pro wrestling, don't get me wrong, but they're a spiteful company because they'll fine you into the dirt. And when someone goes, well, just release me, like, no, we'll just leave you under contract, because WWE's contracts, if you sit out, you have, and you eventually come back, because they all do, because they got to make money somehow, you have to put in the time that you missed before your contract runs out. You want to stay just sit in for a year? Fantastic. We'll tack that onto the year at the end of your contract. So you ain't going nowhere, So like they have their, for lack of a better term, they have their content creators by the balls on this one. So some of them are trying to build brands by their real names from the ground up, and some of them, like Xavier Woods, he says he's going to stream forever. But I'll tell you right now, WWE has a stake in Up, Up, Down, Down. He can say whatever he wants, but WWE has a stake in that company, in that brand. Like they've had like their executives right up to the top of the food chain on Up, Up, Down, Down. That doesn't just happen for somebody who just happens to own their own, digital, content creation. When Vince McMahon and Stephanie McMahon are showing up on Up, Up, Down, Down, no. There's a stake in there. The WWE has a stake in that. They want to see it grow through their vision. So like Xavier Woods is like, he's been on like interviews just like, I have pretty much full creative control, probably like 90% creative control. But at the end of the day, somebody in an executive office is signing off on his content, or he's making it, and he goes, no, that's out, and he's got to pull it, So I think it's fascinating that, a company that says all their employees are independent contractors, they are, you want to get in on that, Sadomi?
So I think that's where it gets super gray areaed.
Yeah.
Because if they were employees, then it would kind of be a bit more understandable. It's like if I worked for Walgreens and I did an ad for CVS while I was a Walgreens employee. Yeah, that sounds kind of weird. But you're an independent contractor with all the restrictions of being a full-time employee, but none of the benefits. That's a whole other can of worms about why WWE is really garbage, but I still watch it. So
that's a whole episode or more.
Yeah,
that's a whole podcast.
But when it comes to owning likenesses, only professional wrestling will have this problem because it operates in this weird space between fiction and reality.
Yep.
I forgot his full actual. I'm not sure it's Austin Creed. Austin Creed played Xavier Woods on television and in his wrestling shows, but he is also the same person operating in real-time space. As Austin Creed ages, Xavier Wood ages. As Ric Flair ages, Ric Flair ages.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, because I'm not sure legally if Ric Flair is different than Ric Flair, or if it's just his actual like naming rights or whatever. But for instance, John Moxley for AEW, he's another wrestler. He went under the name of, I'm really blanking right now. Nagata, please help me. Dean Ambrose in WWE. His name is not Dean Ambrose. That's a character he played while he's in WWE.
Right.
And now the character he's playing on AEW is John Moxley. But he is, I assume, John Moxley.
Yeah, that's his actual name, John Moxley.
Yeah. So like it works in this really weird space where you have fictional characters who are real people, but are also separate from being like the real, like their likenesses are the same technically. If you see Lana out in public, she's both Lana and her real name persona. They're not two separate entities, they're the same person, but their names are different, and legally they are different entities.
Yeah.
Only streamers could do this too. I think have the same kind of issue.
Yeah, because it's like your persona is how the public sees you. It's like if you were to take like an actor, it's like if you were like Daniel Craig and everybody just started calling him James Bond, it's like that's it. It's like you're James Bond now. It's like, no, my name is Daniel Craig, but they work as people see like the character as the person. And like wrestling is very much about that, because on top of it, wrestling absolutely tries to protect the real names of its performers. They create these names that are like, this kind of sounds like it came out of a comic book, but I could call you that if I saw you in Starbucks, So it's just like you just kind of like have this name that they run with. Like you can call someone Roman Reigns or Dean Ambrose or Seth Rollins or whatever. I'm like, okay, I guess that's an entirely plausible, slightly off kilter name, but sure, but these are all like properties of the company. And so like you have a person like Jon Moxley who's like, okay, I'm leaving WWE. I'm going to go by my real name. He goes to a competing company. And so now that's his name. So it's like, I don't know how a contract status works like that, because like he signs with like a major promotion. And if he leaves as Jon Moxley, nobody owns your name. He came in with that name, he'll go out with that name. Like they have this thing with WWE, and not everybody would know who this person is, but they have a performer named AJ Styles. Okay. AJ Styles has owned AJ Styles for 21 years. Like he actually was smart enough as a kid, as like a 20-year-old kid, to license AJ Styles. Nobody can take that from him, and they never will. And that is one of the big reasons why WWE is running into this problem now, because like no matter how much they build AJ Styles, they'll never be able to take away AJ Styles. If he leaves and they have Blu-rays or digital content or whatever else, his royalties are going to remain intact no matter what. And so like this is what it always comes down to. It's just like, where is the money coming in? Where is the money going out? And like you look at a situation like this, people are like, oh my gosh, WWE wants to cancel all these performers and they're not going to make any money. It's like, no, they just want to cut. This always comes down to a cut. It's like WWE sees this and go, I can go to Twitch and be like, okay, here's a corporate entity. Here's a corporate entity. We would like to enter into a licensing agreement with this entity. And all of a sudden you will see Twitch have WWE Xavier Woods, WWE Cesaro, WWE Sadomi, WWE Velokk. You know what I mean? And it's just like, they will be right across the board. They will all have branding. They will all have WWE branding in their stamps and their emotes and like all this kind of stuff. And so like the performers will pull revenue on WWE's channels, but now WWE will get, if you get 50% of your subs, WWE gets 5% of your subs off your 50% cut. And so like now you have this volume play right across the board, and they'll be like, hey, all your performers, it's a pandemic, you should probably be in front of your webcam right now. And so like you have like the off days where you're not doing they call them house shows, but like performing off camera. So like you're just like, hey, you should probably be performing every Saturday at 7 to 10, because that would be the time you would be at a house show on the weekend. And it's a prime time for Twitch. You pull in the revenue, and in turn, the company draws revenue while doing nothing. They basically just like, you're going to do exactly what you were going to do ahead of time. Now you're making money for us and you're making money for you. It's a win for them. The performers are going to they're going to get a shot in the foot, but
initially,
they'll get to continue
maybe
what they're doing. Initially,
I think there's a weird, it all depends on who is in charge of that, of how that could go, because that could go really poorly. It's like, hey, no house shows, why aren't you streaming? You should be streaming. WWE sanctioned events, we have WWE storylines on your stream.
It's trouble. I know it's trouble, but somebody gonna go make some money. You gotta make money somewhere. You know what I mean? You can't put it in the packet of all the other performers. It's not gonna happen.
Or it's the best push for those Twitch channels you could possibly imagine. Any on TV events, easy. Mia Yim, bam. Twitch.tv/Mia Yim.
Done.
Like, yeah, and they just leave it at that, and then WWE, takes their cut because okay, you get your cut, you can take that cut,
right?
And so it's not too much. All right, cool. And then they all instantly get partnered by Twitch instantly.
Oh yeah, for sure,
just
instantly.
WWE be like, hey, listen. We want a partnership deal. They get 95%. You get 5%. Twitch is like, yeah, we gotta take that.
You know,
Yeah, I mean,
like
yeah.
that's what it always comes down to. It's just like, how much blood can I extract from this stone? You know, and it's going to be a difficult process for like a lot of them. Like Twitch is an easy one, but like you look at like I don't know if you guys know what like the Cameo service is. So like
Oh,
Cameo is for some of those performers, especially for women on the platform, they are making money hand over fist. Like we're talking six figures annually from Cameo because you
Wow.
have fans who are obsessed, you
Mhm.
know, and they want to hear from their favorite superstar women, whatever you want to call them. You charge extra to like talk with them personally or refer them by name or whatever else, and they'll put money up there, you know, 3 figures, 4 figures, whatever else, and that adds up, you know. And WWE ain't getting none of that right now, you know. So it's just like when you have individual performers in 6 figures, you should like the company's just like, okay, like this we're missing out on this stuff here, like what's going on. So yeah, Twitch is an easy one. The rest of them not so much, especially with Twitch because you can archive it with parlay it over to YouTube, and WWE has one of the biggest YouTube channels on the planet, like they're top 20, you know. So it's like it's a win-win for them to go that route.
Yeah. With Cameo
agree.
too, that's directly using their likeness too. So that one I could see WWE taking even more of like a harder stance on, or a harder bargaining point. Because at the end of the day, like even once you drop the like once let's say Mia Yim like leaves WWE, stops wrestling for good, she can still transition that Twitch over to her personal accounts. So she'll have all the followers gained from it, all the same traction. And as long as people still like, you know, she still stays relevant on her own personal like grind, then she's good. She's fine. On Cameo though, you won't be able to use, say, if Alexa Bliss leaves WWE, doesn't keep the name Alexa Bliss. Hey, I'm not Alexa Bliss. She's not going to have that same, you know, traction because people want to hear from Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hope these WWE superstars, all of them, get favorable outcomes from whatever situation this arises. Because we all know Vince just wants just
more money.
Is so. This man does not know anything about the internet.
No,
or he does and he's hiding it. One of those two. I don't know. I don't know if his craziness is kayfabe or not. I don't know at this point.
The man just turned 75 years old. He don't care about. I was about to drop an F-bomb. He don't care about the internet. You know what I mean? This man cares about, hey, what's our quarterlies look like? You know, all he wants to do is be able to see that his bottom line has gone up. You know, he can declare his dividend. He can become even more of a billionaire and move on. He don't care about the internet. You know, all he knows is that the internet makes him more money than it did before the internet was around. That's it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see how these WWE entertainers do on Twitch in the future. Obviously, they're already doing amazing things. I mean, I hope that we can start seeing some of them like in like the top 10 biggest streamers. Like that'd be really interesting because you know that they're putting on quality content. You know what I mean? Like like they are entertaining people 100%. I don't really watch wrestling, but you have to give them credit. Like there's no way you can't. There's no way you can't.
Yeah. When it comes to like, so this is going to come at Twitch. So I'm not sure when, but soon. You're gonna have a lot of top table talent, a lot of like more mainstream talent come over to Twitch and be like, oh, okay, I don't have to work within the bounds of a network. I can do almost whatever I want as long as it still, you know, keeps my brand decent. And I mean, there's a lot of money here.
It's inevitable.
Yeah, it's gonna happen to YouTube.
Look at Jack Black on YouTube right now. Jablinski Games, he's crushing it, dude. He's doing so well, and he's just playing like Red Dead Redemption 2 and stuff like that. But like since he's Jack Black, he is an entertaining person. Like it just makes sense. Like I hope he does a Twitch stream if he hasn't already.
Yeah, and for those asking, yes, Vince McMahon is still ripped. He is a monster. Yes. 75 years old, and he's
probably
a tank. Yeah,
I mean. Gotta do what you gotta do, right? Yep. All right, so let's move on to the next topic we have here. Streamers upset at Twitch for fixing bug that actually gave fans a good deal. So we talked about this last week on the show, the Subtember event, and how unexcited we were about it. And ended up being Twitch had a bug in their system where if you resub to somebody, sometimes you could get the 20% off deal, which Twitch was like, we got to fix this because we're losing money right now. They pulled the WWE, and people were really, really upset about it. Believe it or not, I know, super surprising. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll start with Sadomi on this one.
I mean, like, did y'all not see that coming?
Dude.
Like, also, just because here's how Twitch programs work. If something works really well, they probably lost money on it.
Yeah.
If it worked decently enough, they're trying to get as much extra cash out of it. Okay.
Mhm.
What they want is for more new people to sub. Because let's be honest, once you sub once, you're more likely to sub again. Once you buy any product once, you're more likely to buy it 50 more times.
Right.
It's that initial barrier they want you to get over, and they want people to get over the hump of using the new feature, which you don't know what it was: multi-sub months. Because how many times have you forgot to renew a sub? How many times do you just let a sub renew? Like, oh, I'll just cancel later. Like, I already paid it. It's whatever.
All the time.
Imagine that for 3 months. Every 3 months, you look at your bank and like, wait, why don't I short 20 bucks? Oh, Friday cancel that sub. And I'll just cancel later. And then later comes 3 months later. Oh, I forgot this sub. Wow. And also, Twitch would love, and streamers, let's be honest, streamers too, would love consistent income and having multi-sub months. Like any streamer that knows how to push a good 3 month like sub promotion, they will be much happier than like any other person on the platform. But yeah, no, I kind of saw Twitch was gonna like keep going this trend of trying to get more and more users to break that barrier,
right?
Because you always want to keep getting people new in. Whether they stay or not, that depends on the service and what streamers they find. Hence why you never see smaller streamers on the front page. You'll only see, not the front page, but like the front, you see the best on the front page.
Right.
You see the best what Twitch wants to offer in your recommendations. If you start a new account, you'll probably not get many newer accounts that start streaming. So, like I said, Twitch, they knew this was coming. They want more users to come to the platform. They want more users to start subbing, and they want to promote their new sub multi-month package. Any means necessary.
Yeah, I like, and you notice as soon as they tweeted that they fixed the issue or that they were looking into fixing the issue, everybody jumped on well, you fixed this super fast. What about these other things that you still haven't fixed? You know what I mean? Like there was just so much backlash about it. Like they're already like doing something that makes September not really a big deal for anybody on Twitch. And you can see how out of touch they are with their own community with it, because how many people are going to subscribe to a new stream for 3 months or whatever when it's your first time there? I don't know, like, you don't know anything about the person, you don't know anything about the community, but you only have this month to figure it out if you want to use that 20% off multi-month sub. It's insane to me. And I know there's like a huge amount of backlash because like I haven't heard of a single person that approves of September this year. A single person.
Yeah, September's kind of poopy.
Right. Nagata, what do you got, man?
September sucks.
Hot take.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm glad that we're talking about this week and not last week, because I had about an hour-long rant when this dropped, like the stream that came like the same day. It was not a good day at the office. I think that the idea behind it, as Sadomi pointed out, the idea behind it is brilliant. You want to create new subscribers for long periods of time who forget to unsub. You want people who, you forgot about $5. Great. I want you to forget about $15. I want you to forget about $30. Anything that's like, once it's like out of sight, out of mind, because what we said, like, let's talk about this earlier. It's like a lot of folks in like this creator space, like they have the memory of a goldfish, like this, like, you're just like, okay, I subscribed to this channel, and a lot of times the only people who really notice when they are spending money on a channel is when you actually out of money. It is like, oh my gosh, it's like, I'm short on bills this month, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, where's my money going? It's like, oh, hello PayPal, and you see like 30 different subscriptions or 10 different subscriptions or whatever subscription. It's like, oh, I don't really care about these people, and so like you drop off, and so like you have a situation with like a 3-month resub or like a 6-month resub. You want to push that like any way you can. You push that, because even like the people that are like, it's 6 months and you forget it, they probably only subscribe for 6 months to people they really care about. you know? So it's like, you know what? It's not a big deal, you know? So you leave it behind. It's like so much extra revenue, like everywhere extra revenue.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people they lose sight of that particular fact. Like when Sadomi brought it up, I was like, I'm glad that you did. It's like people forget to unsub. They always forget to unsub. If you can like, you know, it's $5 versus 30 from the business perspective. You want them to forget about the 30 every time. Every 6 months. If that 30 happens to come up in December, people in a good mood, it's Christmas time. You know what? It's a gift. Now I forgot about it next June. You know, it's just like, and the train just keeps on rolling on the 6 months, you know. But the execution to get there is awful. Like it's the worst I've ever seen. And the thing is, the worst of it is like if you saw the bug, okay, you saw the bug. Why would you correct the bug? Like you have at this point in time shot yourself in the foot, you know, because now not only does your promotion suck, now you slapped everyone in the face.
Right. And then they made a tweet about it, like, "Oh, sorry guys, we fixed it. Don't worry about it." Like that's what we wanted to happen. Like, don't worry, we made it so you're not saving any money. We got you, you, bro. You're welcome.
And you know the thing is, Valley, that like. What absolutely set me off, it's the follow-up tweet. Don't worry, it's not going to impact the revenue of the creator. I'm like, what are you gonna do? Steal $1 out of my pocket? You know, of course you ain't stealing no $1 out of my pocket. You know, you ain't coming for my money, not twice. You ain't coming for the creator, and you ain't coming for the person who subscribed to you. No. So why are you trying to run a brag about not teething $1 from me? No. That's the dumbest brag I've ever seen in my life. I saw that and I'm getting riled
bragging about something that they're not supposed to do anyway.
Seriously, I didn't walk in and shoplift today. Be proud of me. No. Are you serious right now? Seriously, you know,
I didn't walk in and shoplift today. Yo, good for you, dude. Yeah, good for you, bro.
I could not believe it when I saw that initial tweet. I'm just like, you corrected the bug, and they had the gall to pat themselves on the back about how they didn't take my money from you afterward.
Yeah, good tweet.
Oh my goodness me, you know, like that is what absolutely like got me right there. When they said that's like, don't worry, it doesn't impact anything else. And it's like, you should have just left it. You know, now you
at the end of it just to really seal the deal.
Yeah. You know, your shitty ass promotion slapped me in the face, and then on top of it, backhanded me when you say you won't take more money from me. You ain't gonna take no more money. You know, right across both sides of my face. I'm like, no. Oh, awful situation every which way. You know, and like you all hit it on the head. The first September was the best one, 50% off across the board. Twitch ain't make no money. Obviously, they're not going to do that. They wanted to reel people in as much as they could. For the consumer perspective, it was amazing. From the business perspective, it doesn't do anything. It's kind of like a long play, right? But with each passing year, it's just got worse and worse. And now you push the 6 month thing, and it's like, how did you not think this through? You had 11 months to think through the next way you wanted to approach this, you know, short of like Capital One being like, hey, maybe you should kick every last creator right in the crotch before you fire this out the door, you know, because like I'm sure Capital One had input, you know, it's how they wanted to do this. I don't know what they said, but like I can't imagine if Twitch understands its space on any rudimentary level that they could have thought this was a good idea. You know, on any facet, you know, even if you discover the bug, you got to let that rock, you know, let the people think that they robbed the big bad corporation blind, you know, let them have it.
Don't say a thing about it.
I think what's happening is they have developers who are also doing like, you know, yeah, I really think they don't understand that we have a very smart audience, which is a very smart audience. Even if you look at Twitch chat, sometimes this chat is fine, but some Twitch chats are just cesspools of the most dumbest stuff in the world. We're still a relatively smart group of people. So we catch on to things. We see things. We take notice. We just have bad attention spans, so we forget. But we'll catch stuff like that. And at that point, that was a moment of thinking, oh, I need to fix something. They didn't really realize the benefits of what fixing it would do. They just kind of said, oh, something isn't the way we intended. We're going to fix it versus, you know, not evaluating where it was at the moment. In other words, Twitch doing what it normally does, not evaluating what it needs at the moment.
People don't think, you know.
Rest in peace, Clips page.
Yeah, serious.
New channel
Serious.
profiles. Rest in peace.
Right. All right. So next topic we have Twitch streamer under fire for telling fans to stop painful small talk. Who wants to start with this one?
Props to her
Okay.
for getting an increased payday for the next 30 days.
Yeah, do you guys okay? We haven't given out streaming advice in a long time.
Sorry, Valley, what?
I was just saying we should we should probably get the backstory on this before we get
Sure.
too into it. Just I don't know if one of you wants to do it, or just to let people know in case they haven't seen it on Twitter or anything, because most likely they probably haven't.
All right, TLDR, somewhat we'll call her like large size streamer. Is tired of people coming into her stream and go, "How are you?" She basically wants to cut out small talk, and so she popped off on Twitter, basically saying, "Stop asking me how am I." That's the root of it. She wants to get rid of civil pleasantries in her stream, and it caused a problem.
Yeah, the excuse was I already answered that earlier. Like, so if you're a new viewer and you want to know what's up, nah.
Yeah. So that's the TLDR of it. And there is obviously a backlash here because people come into streams and they want to know what the streamer is up to because they're invested in the streamer. This is how communities work. You walk into a room and you're just like, "Hey, how's it going?" Because that's what you do since the age of 3. You know, how are you? You know, if everybody came into your chat, never asked how you're doing and never said butt kiss, you know what happened to that streamer? They would be upset. You know, just because she answered it once doesn't mean that she ain't going to answer it 50 times. Doesn't matter how many times people come in there and ask her, "How are you?" She didn't have to answer them. You know, she could see a name and be like, "Hey, great to see you." She doesn't have to say how she's doing. Most people are coming in asking how they're doing it's almost like rhetorical in its statement. They're essentially looking for acknowledgement, like one way or another when you first come into a stream, you know, because we've all been there. You said hello, nobody says anything back. And you're just like, you know what? I'm going to go to the next stream, you know? So like, they're just coming in. It's like, "Hey, how's it going?" Hoping that, I forget what this person's name is, you know, Raggedy Girl.
Let's not even say it. Let's not even say it. Don't give her the extra payday.
Yeah, seriously. So
true.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But I mean,
Why
like, so
contribute, you know?
Yeah. So it's just like this Raggedy Girl comes back and she's just like, I don't want to talk to you, you know? And so everybody's upset. And it's like, you know what? Don't go to a page. You know what happens? You know what happens if you don't go to a page? Ain't nobody gonna ask how she's doing, you know, if nobody goes through. But the flip side of it, and because we touched on this before the stream started, is that the nature of the beast is not only is she rude, but she's going to be rewarded for being rude, you know, because people have increased like the brand awareness of this person because they vex on Twitter, you know, and so vex people are going to go into her channel, and vex people are going to pay her money to get on her text to speech and call her an awful person, and vex people are going to be gifted subs for the people who are loyal to her, who think that she is right. And so you have all these extra viewers who are going to come in. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to get gifted subs during shitty Subtember. You know what I mean? And so they are going to get gifted subs. And all of a sudden, she is making more money for being rude because that is the nature of the beast on Twitch and Twitter. It's a symbiotic relationship of cesspool. You know, and they just combine forces and dump money in your bank account by the end of it, you know? So she's just like, she rude. You know, it's the only platform where you can be rude and get a payday. You know, so, I'm sorry, I just went off.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Because like, if I had tea, I'd have sipped it. I can guarantee we'll get over 100 viewers for StreamKey with the next statement I'm about to say. You ready?
What you got?
All right. Everyone, get ready to clip. Do not clip. When I clap, start the clip, and when I clap, end the clip. Okay? This is very specific context, okay?
We need the context.
I am sick of all of you people in chat always complaining about asking streaming advice because all of you are really bad streamers. In fact, if you watch StreamKey, you probably have no future as a broadcaster, and quite frankly, you need to probably find a new hobby because you obviously suck at it. You're listening to a bunch of no-name streamers give you advice about actual like streaming. Like, are you stupid? Go on YouTube. All of you Twitch streamers should just go completely, just do something else in your life. You're wasting your entire time.
Yo, edit me out, bro.
I think you left out the part where you said clip it out of the VOD. Clip that out. I think that I'm gonna try to spin this so I don't have to end this podcast immediately with everybody else.
Before I want to cut you off here, but before I just want to make a quick point about what outrage culture is and why people react to stuff that makes them angry.
Oh, you should have probably you should have led with that before you nuked your own podcast into the dirt.
No, like, hey, dudes, I'm about to do this real quick. So if you get offended, just know it's because of this. I'm gonna offend some people real quick, and then I'll apologize in a second. But kind of not really figure it out, stupid. You know what I mean? Like, make sure the clip chat.
Seriously, you're gonna have to erase all those clips, son.
God damn it, dude.
But I mean, like, I think at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that are just they're gonna reward, they'll probably reward Sadomi's promo. Except hopefully there's a fantastic video editor that takes the end part and then reels it to the beginning part and just like outrage culture clip, featuring Sadomi. And so like when Livestream Fail gets a hold of it and gets butthurt or the fact they're all shitty streamers, at least you'll be able to like put it all together.
Post it on our Twitch. It'll do better there.
Really? Oh yeah.
Am
I gonna start on our Twitch about how it's like the most insecure place on the planet?
So like our Twitch, if you ever want to like get some kind of outrage going about small streamers doing stuff about trying to make a career out of streaming, just post something that tells them that they aren't going to do it well on our Twitch, and then create a separate Twitter account, a fakey, I call it. Post that and be like, kind of a burner, yeah. You have to use, make sure it's active, so it's not just a simple troll account. I mean, you can't. No one checks for followers like on a post anyway. Post that on Twitter, just a screenshot of the tweet, and be like, "Wow, this is what people think of Twitch streamers." And you're good. You're good.
Start a controversy, man.
That's literally how Twitch works. You either create controversy, you create value, or you come from somewhere else. So that's one of the few things I've always seen in common. You're either creating value or you're creating controversy. One of those two things will lead you to more popularity on Twitch. One of those is more negative, one of those is more positive, one of those stays longer, one of those, there's a flash in the pan. All depends on what you want.
And the thing is, like, I want to like loop back to the actual topic for a quick second. So this person, the article that came up on like Deserto, she rude, but she's smart because she actually like did something that Sadomi was just touching on. Her last set of tweets responding to people very much specifies a bunch of nobodies with 10 viewers are the people that are attacking me on how to stream. I'm like, whoa. You went right for them, you went right for the small insecure streamer who, is they up on a high horse, and she's like, I'm gonna take a sledgehammer right to the knees of your horse, and so like they're all vexed. And then when she was done with that, she's just like, the only people attacking me are a bunch of 16-year-old insecure incels who are like trying to tell me how to stream. So I'm like, now you got to make sure it's just like, now I'm guarded, because I've got the dirty men are coming for me and the shitty streamers are coming for me. So you get like you absolutely optimize the value of it's so calculated. It's so smart, she's rude, but she's smart, so she's gonna get paid,
right? That's the thing, is like it's gonna work for her, but oh man, it's just not worth it for me, man. Like
that's the thing.
Yeah,
Valley, come on. $5 a month is still a meme. It's still a meme.
I 100% think that the people who create the most controversy or anything, that's not the word that we used earlier. I can't remember what it was. I'm pretty bad at words, but I feel like the people who stir up the pot the most are often going to be the people who make the most money for the most part. You know what I mean? And it's just, that's the way that it works. And if money is your motive, do it up, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? But like, I am not in this to stir up anything, dude. Like I don't know, man. I miss the wholesomeness of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
that's
do.
honestly a good value. And like you said, there's always pros and cons.
Yeah.
The mental
Yep.
toll it takes on you dealing with all of those that abuse. That's why I don't do that kind of stuff. That's why I just sit and I just post about like I don't even know, it's like random stuff. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't deal with drama. It's not fun. I was in high school for 4 years. I don't need another month of that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm older. I'm tired. And when I'm done with Twitch one day, if I'm pretty sure I will be in like a couple years. I don't want to be like, hey, weren't you the guy that said that like, you know, you need $5 a month, 5 foot long, right? Yeah.
Right.
Good job, Jared. And then walk away. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'd
Right.
rather have my brand, have people know me for the value I give them versus the negative emotions like they feel, or to even be a laughing stock. And also, long term, the people who make the most money solve the richest people's problems. That's how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I don't know. I like the thing that sucks about this is that people are gonna notice that it works to make money when you start controversy. Like you guys said, it all depends on what your motives are and what your values are. Sorry, I'm spilling stuff over. But yeah, like I know there's things that I could have done. There's plenty of things that I've just straight up chosen not to do that have 100% slowed down my growth on Twitch. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like I've done it, like I've passed up on a lot of things. And I'm sure you guys have too. I'm sure like every day you guys make decisions that define you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And whether or not like it's about growth or if it's about being you. So it's just that's what this is at the end of the day. I don't know, man. It's not
Also,
worth
like
it for me.
streaming is different for everybody. Like what I view as success, what a god views success, what value views success, and what you, the listener, who I honestly really do value because you guys are awesome and I like legit listening to you. I was just memeing.
You've probably seen.
I was just memeing.
Would you like
Y'all
to see
know
a
this.
man backpedal through a door? Because you're about to.
I was just memeing.
God, dude. Oh shit.
But like I said, streaming is different for everybody.
Ooh.
Some people want to do it as a full-time career. Some people want to do it as a side hustle. Some people do it as a fun hobby. Some people want to turn it on when their friends are playing Among Us and laugh at the mistakes and keep their D&D games recorded because it's much easier that way than taking notes. Whatever you do on Twitch, whatever you do with streaming, whatever you do with YouTube content, whatever you do with anything, your own goals are your own goals, and do not sacrifice your values and integrity just for some clout. Because trust me, it ain't worth it. And it's more tiresome than you need. Yeah.
You really will. Like, I don't know. Like for me, like as soon as I started streaming, like we're kind of going off on a tangent about this, but I'm kind of cool with it because I feel like mindset and just value is important as a Twitch streamer. I don't know. I remember thinking early on that I just wanted to I didn't want to be a character at all. I didn't want to do any of this stuff. I didn't want to be one to start controversy or anything. Like I was just gonna have a good time and hope that other people have a good time, and that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? But like some of these people, why haven't I gotten a sub today? Or if you don't sub, then you're a leech. You know what I mean? Who these people are who say these things, and that they're still making money off these things that happened like last year even. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's crazy. It's to the point where it's getting mainstream enough that people are doing anything to make money on it.
Well, it's like it's the whole concept of whether it's like, I know you don't watch wrestling, but like the concept of like the worked shoot. So it's just like there are things that are real. Like in the wrestling world, the things that are real are shoot. And then you have things that look real, very, very real, but it's still within the confines of like creative, and you have the work shoot. And I think like a lot of times that's what you end up with Twitch. And as it continues to grow and as more mainstream elements are introduced to the platform, the subtle manipulation of its population is going to be really fascinating to see, because like something like when you just like laid it out, when you have don't say hello to me, when you have $5 a month, when you haven't subbed in X time, whatever else, that's one thing, right? But like there are going to be times, or as this platform continues to grow, and especially because you're considering the fact that the majority of the audience skews younger, and with all due respect, can be manipulated. a little bit easier than somebody who skews older because they've been around the block longer. They're going to be manipulated in ways they're not even aware of. You know, like there's outrage culture that's going to pay you off, and there's going to be all kinds of interesting ways to screw with people where they're just handing you money and they don't even know why. You know, because like that's what marketing is there for. Like you have all these firms that are out there trying to understand what makes Twitch what it is. Why does Twitch draw, you know, key demo? Why does it do this? Why does it do that? How can we figure out this audience? And once we figured out this audience, how can we figure out optimal ways to extract revenue from that audience? You know, right now we just have like one-off takes, you know, but like Sadomi has just laid it out. It's just like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to post on r/Twitch. I'm going to create a burner account. The burner account's going to do this. You're all going to be manipulated, you know, raise my brand awareness. He like laid that out in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Sadomi's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, it's a, you know, Veli, you watch football. It's a bang, bang play. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's gonna hit, and it's gonna be like, okay, and people are gonna be angry, and while they're angry, they're gonna pay $5 a month, or maybe if it's during Subtember, they're gonna pay $30, you know, for the next 6 months while they're angry about it. You know, I'm gonna subscribe to you so I can crap on you for the next 6 months. I earned that, you know. So it's like there's always something. Like there's always something. But I agree with you, Veli. Like the old days of it's all for fun is really swinging to the wayside in favor of, you know, what can I do to not just pay my bills, but to like make fat bank.
Yeah, what can I do to be the next big streamer? Like, what can I do to get as many people to look at me as possible? Like, because that's really the only trick. Like, that's the only trick that I can think of on how to grow faster. Like, because people always want to find the next step, like the fastest way, the easiest way to progress and grow on Twitch. And being an asshole is that way. It really is. Like, look at XQC.
Yep.
Just, you know, like, I'm not saying he's not a good content creator. I'm just saying, like, the controversy that he's gone through with everything is definitely helping for sure.
Yeah, because like, and he weathered the storm. Yeah. Right. Like he's easily peaked in terms of toxicity, and he's softened his image, but he's retained all those people who just love crappy XQC, toxic XQC, you know, because he's built their loyalty, and in turn he's built their revenue. Right. So like now you're at this point where XQC is kind of like found like a little bit of a softer balance. You can same with like Alinity, for everything like Alinity went through, and like she did her own thing, and at the end of it, she's just like, it took one video of her crying about being upset about how people treat her, and she like they just completed her turn, you know, because now all the people who were angry about her about like the cat thing, now they're the assholes, you know, and so like, okay, you know, we love Alinity now. All these top streamers, we love Alinity now. You know,
she's a face now.
Yeah, she turned baby face.
No, we love Alinity, dude.
Yeah, it's like we love Alinity now, and it's like, what just happened? She posted a video where she cried, and obviously all is forgiven, you know. And truth be told, like that probably should have been forgiven a long time ago, you know. Yeah. But when it was all said and done, she understood her audience. She understood that she can place. I wouldn't even call it like toxic. She was just, I don't know. She was something unto herself. That's a story for another time. But we all recognize that like Alinity was a certain type of brand. And then when it got to a point where she was like, you know what? There's no longer an upside, a financial upside to me dealing with all of this negative crap. She's just like, I have terrible mental health. I was suicidal. You know, she's in tears, and all these people, it is no longer trendy, you know, to attack this creator. So she turns babyface. She turns good guy. She turns good girl. Sorry.
Not to say that she wasn't going through that stuff, though.
No.
I mean? Like, I don't want people to get this twisted and say that like she's been faking it the whole time or anything. I want to make sure that everybody understands what you're saying, and that we don't actually get attacked for something that's just like a misinterpretation. You know what I mean?
No, 100%, 100%. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to pull no Sadomi promo here.
Oh shit.
What I am saying is that like she's there's a lot of people just in life in general. You endure all kinds of stuff, whether it's in your home, whether it's in your work, whether it's whatever else. You'll put up with it because for any different reason, you got to put a roof over your head. You got to do whatever else. There's a lot of content creators out there who put up with a lot of crap because they feel the payday or the quality of life rationalizes the choices, and in turn, like the impact that comes from all the negative people that come your way. It's just like, how much is my check worth to me? How much is my mental health worth to me? And you reach a point where you're at a breaking point, right? And so in Alina's case, she's endured a lot for years. For years, you know, and then it was really bad. I mean, like when you have people that are like coming to your house, you know, like trying to come at you over like something that happened on the internet, this is a big problem, right? And she still endured that for another like 18 months before she finally broke down and like released this video, you know, and by, you know, all graces now, she's in people's like pretty good books, you know, but it's like one of those things, like you say, like her or XQC or anything like that. It's like you bring in the negative, you bring in the outrage, you bring in all these people because people love to hate. You know, they come in there, but they put money in your pocket, you know, so you'll take it, you know, you get some decent mods, you know, to like keep it on top of things here. And like you try to do whatever you can, mute whatever you can on Twitter, like all kind of stuff. There's tons of content creators out there just like, you know, they'll say something awful and they just mute the thread, you know, like they don't care about it. You know, they just mute the thread. You know, like you think people like come after like Keemstar? Like Keemstar leaves his threads open? No, you know, like he leaves it open for the whatever, like 100 people that he might follow on Twitter if they have something to say, and the other, you know, 2 million people that are just calling him like the scumbag piece of shit. It doesn't matter because he already muted the thread, right? You know, so like they just move on.
That's like it reminds me of when Tim the Tatman was trying to get his first win on Fall Guys, and all of Twitter was roasting Tim the Tatman. You know, the Fall Guys account was roasting him. You know, this dude had, I think he got over 200,000 viewers at one point, right?
Yeah,
he did. I mean, it was like 250,000 ish roughly. And he was enduring a lot of punishment. You know what I mean? Because like he's got stream snipers there the whole time messing with him, and like. Let me explain, Sadomi, because I see what you're going through. I see what you're thinking right now. But you know, he's being trolled constantly, stream sniped constantly. Everybody on Twitter is giving him shit. You know, and it's just when it's that loud and that much, like it's gotta be kind of annoying. It's gotta be like terrible. You know what I mean? But like at the same time, 260,000 viewers, subs rolling in like crazy, donos rolling in like crazy. It's just one of those things, like you just said, like how much is it worth?
So okay, so I think that example is a bit different.
It is different. It is different for sure. 100%.
Being Tim's an entertainer. Tim knows this. Tim knows that his entertainment style is being the butt of some jokes.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Okay? For Tim, that was a moment of him drawing a big crowd for an awesome show, creating an awesome moment, working with a great brand to do, you know, a really fun thing. In Alinity's case, that's people threatening to hurt, murder, and do other awful things to her based off of other, like, extremely incomparable, like, tasks. I think those are two completely different things.
I do agree with that. I'm not trying to say that, like, the negative side of what Tim the Tatman was going through is even remotely similar to that. All I'm saying is that like the situation is just comparable based on, you know, like how much is this worth?
I think that's all. So that one, I think that's also kind of because so Nagata brought up a great just like topic for me that I was thinking about this entire time when it comes to the thing of streaming as wrestling. It's very similar. I didn't realize how similar it was until I really like thought about it, especially with the whole work shoots thing. It's like, yeah, some stuff does happen that actually is like, you know, real stuff, but it gets worked into the storylines of the streamers' lives because streamers' lives are kind of in this weird middle space where they are real people, but they're still an on-camera personality. So they border that thin line of reality and fiction. Okay.
Yeah.
So every time I'm like thinking about this, especially in Tim's case, he just went on a quick hero's journey and people making comments about it. It wasn't just people attacking him, it was people commenting on the story. So I wouldn't say I was even attacking. I'd say Tim just was in the right space, right time, did the right things, and became the best entertainer for a good like 30 minutes.
Right.
when it comes to abuse, it does come with being a public figure, and I hate saying it. The Twitch community can be really bad sometimes. Like I'm not sure if it's just like the internet gives people more freedom to do what they want to do, or if I don't surround myself around crappy people.
Mm-hmm.
But it is so aggressive that sometimes when you have that bordering thing on fiction and reality, some people can't separate that. Some people can't be like, hey, this person is a broadcaster just kind of doing their thing. And then sometimes that gets put into a whole different perspective and people just can't like separate them. And it's like, oh, I hate this person with a passion. And they forget it's like a real person. It's just like, someone they can direct their heat at.
Right. And when they say that, they don't actually know that person at all, which is crazy. Like I hate this person to their core when they really don't know them at all. Not even in the slightest.
Yeah.
Because what you see on Twitch it's a very small part of our lives. It really is. Like we express ourselves where our true selves, for the most part, I would say most people are on Twitch. But like it's a very small glimpse of what you get, of who we are, I should say. You know what I mean? You guys still got anything about the wow, this is all about the small talk and everything. Holy crap. That was a tangent, dude.
The last thing I'll say for this part, if you aren't a fan of wrestling, but you want to kind of see the parallels of how like Twitter and Twitch kind of mesh together, just start watching wrestling and follow like wrestlers' Twitter accounts.
Yeah.
You'll see a fun parallel after a few weeks.
It's basically just how you create investment, like right across the board. If like people see you as like a character, it's one thing. If they see your person and your character as being synonymous, then it creates an entirely different outlook on things, and their investment drastically increases. So something to think about.
You guys got anything on this topic, or are we moving on?
We're so done with this topic.
All right, I'm cool with that. Let's see. Twitch now lets anyone host an online movie party with Amazon Prime Video library. So you can do watch parties now on Twitch as long as you have, I believe it's Prime Video. You have to run it through an extension, and only people that have Prime Video, I'm pretty sure, can watch the watch party streams. So you can't just consume free content. You know what I mean? Like you're still paying for Prime Video in order to watch with the streamer who's technically streaming it, but not really streaming it. It's hard. It's like you can see it on your end, but you're not necessarily streaming that. You're just streaming your camera, and then through an extension, it plays what you're watching to the people that are watching your stream. It's really weird, but it's kind of cool. I mean, it's about time that they opened it up to literally everybody, because before I think it was just a select few people or something, or maybe it was just partners. I can't remember. Sadomi, what do you got on this one, man?
It's a cool feature, but I don't see it really keeping up too much. I think it'll go the same way Twitch sings in like a few years, honestly.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
I can sing and all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's too many barriers to entry. This is all it really comes down to. It's just like, I have to have an account and you have to have an account, and we got to do this, we got to do that. How many hoops do I want to jump through to watch TV?
Right.
It's like, no, it's like, I want to be able to like watch stuff with my friends, and we're not going to get into what people do with in terms of like being able to watch parties with their friends outside of this platform, because that's something to itself. But there are alternatives that do not have restrictions on them, and the target audience is already exploring those alternatives. So I feel that Amazon Watch Parties will have to make significant adjustments on their restrictions if it's going to reach any kind of like mass popularity.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like if they do end up doing this right, I feel like more people would sign up for Prime Video. You know what I mean? Like if they can actually nail it, make it to where it's not an actual hassle to do these streams and to join these streams, I think it really would increase the number of like their user base for it, basically. I don't know. It's exciting. It's cool. We don't really have anything on it yet. There hasn't really been. I've never watched a watch party stream. I kind of want to look into doing one, but until then, I really don't know anything about this aside from what we've read in the articles. Sadomi, you got anything on this one, man? Or anything else?
I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure how soon it'll be, but there's going to be a website called Prime, and you just buy Prime and get everything for the entire price, everything together. It's gonna come soon.
Yeah,
it would be smart. It definitely would.
Yeah.
All right. So next topic we have is Twitch is getting 1440p 120 FPS streams according to Nvidia. I don't know if you guys have seen anything on this one yet. I saw Harris Heller confirm this in one of his videos talking about the new 30 series video cards. There's no time frame on when this is happening. But yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty cool. That's gonna be nuts being able to watch streams in 1440p 120 frames per second. We'll start with Nagata on this one.
Okay, so I see this from like two perspectives. Okay, I want to like kind of like loop this into the whole. I don't know if you guys watched the Nvidia presentation. So Nvidia rolled out their 30X series last week, including which everybody was talking about. It was their 3090 video card. It will do like 8K. It will do, it'll bake a cake for you. So like this thing is really, really impressive. And with it comes like a new toolkit that comes with it, in the sense of like, yes, you can do 1440p do 1440p. You can do all kinds of like crazy like frame rates. I think it's great. I also think it's way too far ahead of its time. And the reason I say this is because you look at something like Google Stadia, okay? When Google Stadia did their presentation, I thought this was absolutely revolutionary. I'm like, this is where, because I'm a very big believer in this, because I haven't owned optical media, CDs, DVDs, Blu-ray in legitimately 15 years. I don't believe in it. It's just a waste of space, in my personal opinion, all right? So like I look at that situation, I'm like, okay, Google Stadia, you are everything that I've been envisioning for video games for a long time. And they roll this thing out. And guess what? The world doesn't have the infrastructure to be able to sustain that forward thinking. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now you take a look at Twitch, and I think it's amazing. 1440p, 120 FPS, fantastic. Do you know what the average speed of a consumer is in North America for internet? It's 5 meg over 1 meg. And I tell you this because I work in the industry. All right.
Wow.
The average person in North America is still running 5 meg over 1 meg. All right.
Yep.
There's a reason why transcode options are like gold to affiliates, because if you push 1080p, the odds are your average viewership is actually going to be hedged by probably about 30%, because people who watch your stream don't have a sufficient bandwidth either solely for 1080p or because they're splitting a network and they're not on high speed internet in order to watch it. So like you look at something like 1440p, 120 FPS, you're probably looking at 10,000 kbps, maybe higher, in order to make it look good. Okay. That means that like somebody is dedicating anywhere between 10 and 12 meg just to watch your stream. Like just to watch the stream, not do anything else, just to watch the stream. Right. Mobile, good luck. Ain't gonna happen that way. You trying to play that over Wi-Fi, ain't gonna happen. And like the mobile audience represents about 30% of the Twitch audience. So your mobile audience is out immediately, right? So it's like, I think that the upside is tremendous in 10 years. When you have rolled out fiber optic cable across the board, or at least given the either cable or DSL customers a position where they're doing 25 over 10, I feel like that's like the clean spot to be able to watch anything that you want. I think at that point in time, awesome. But until that point in time, it's like, unless you are in a fiber environment or you are in the extraordinary minority of being the early adopter who like has to do it, I don't feel it's a game changer right now. Because like 1080p is too hard for people. Like there's so many folks that they do a 720p stream because the audience simply can't watch anything else. So 1440p, like that's a tough day. That's
right.
a tough
It's
watch.
Gonna be very few people that can watch that for sure.
Yeah,
but those clips are about to look good.
Yeah, that's the only benefit I see to like streaming at that space, at that speed, like nowish, because I have pretty good internet. I'm still not going to stream at 1040, like 1440p. I want to run something else on it. Like,
gotta put the camera up at least. God dang.
And like, not to roast Vince, but like his internet can't handle this. Think he can handle 1440p, 120 FPS?
Yeah.
No.
Vince,
shout out to our producer,
bro.
Shout out to the producer.
Yeah. Love you, Vince, but you know what I'm
He's
saying.
like,
Internet's
hey,
rough.
man.
Internet's rough. Okay. Yeah, it's one of those like before its time things. In like 5-10 years, yeah, sure, that'll probably be the new standard. Cool,
Well, yeah,
I can run it.
absolutely.
But now, no.
Mhm.
It's
I
like
mean,
it makes me think of like all the games are like you could play this in 4K, and meanwhile every person still owns 1080p monitors.
Yep.
You know, it's like, what am I going to do with this?
Yeah, exactly. I have no business messing with 4K right now. I really don't.
no.
But I do kind of want to get one of those video cards and stream at 1440p though, you know, like pretty
The
dope.
thing is, the 3090 is a tank of a card. Like
It's huge. But okay, let's get into the little like nerdiness about these video cards though real quick, because
Yeah.
the actual like quality of these cards for the price that you pay is actually insane. Like the performance of these cards are crazy for the price point. Yeah, the 3090 is $1,300 or $1,400 or something like that, or maybe more, but it also outcompetes every card that they've ever made by like leaps and bounds. Like it does insane stuff. Even the 3070 and 3080, I think the 3080 is $700, which is quite a price drop from the 13 or 1400 of the 3090, and you're still getting crazy good stats out of this thing, like just crazy good.
The thing that people are going to have to watch, and in this particular regard, is that the 3090, as much as people like love the idea of the 3090, it's not a consumer product. It's an enterprise product.
Right.
You want to like, this is the kind of thing that are going to be like, studios are going to pick it up like at Pixar, you know, to like push like animation. The consumer product is the 3080. It comes in at $699 or $649 or whatever it is. It outperforms the 2080 Ti, which is their current
like 24 times.
top card. Yes, it crushes its soul. Yeah, like it absolutely crushes it. You know, so it's like you can get in there for $700. Do it. You know, spending twice as much money to get a product that you'll never get an optimal experience out of, because there simply isn't any infrastructure on the consumer side to, you know, get 8K and like all this kind of stuff. It's like you said, like if you want to push like 1440p, 120 FPS, you want to be like that ahead of the game in that regard. It's an investment.
Yeah,
you know, you can look at it from like that perspective, but like that card, it's an enterprise solution. It's not a consumer solution. Like the 3080 is where the vast majority of people are going to end up buying.
Right. That being said, real quick, before I go over to Sadomi, I do want to say that I don't think that people should just go and buy these cards because of the quality of them and because of the actual, like, it's a good value for the price, but I like Harris Heller said it best in his video. If it doesn't make you return money on your streams, it's not worth doing, unless gaming is just your hobby and you were going to do it anyway. Don't buy these video cards with the expectation of growing your channel because of them, because there's absolutely no way that happens. Yeah, you might get a better viewing experience for your viewers, but at the end of the day, it's about you as a content creator, not about the look of your stream. And I just want to make sure that people remember that. I'm not trying to just go make people spend $700 or whatever on a video card that isn't really going to help them. I just want to put that out there. But Sadomi, what do you have to say about this, man?
To be that guy and counter your point there, if you're running your business, there are ways to kind of fund that video card, but I'll leave it at that. Anyway, yeah, but seriously, don't buy it unless, like, you know, you were gonna buy it anyway.
Yeah.
Basic ROI, return on investment. How will that video card, how will higher quality get you better, you know, but get you more income? If you do screenshot video or like wallpapers or like ambiatic scenery YouTube Let's Plays, and like you think that quality will help you, you know, sell more footage for whatever you do, sure, go ahead. But, you know, simple, figure out if it'll make you more money. Anyway, video cards are cool. I'm one of the cheaper people when it comes to PC parts. I'm running a GTX 960 and an AMD FX 8350.
Been there, man.
Yeah, my condolences. I'm just saying.
She gets the job done. Sam gets the job done, right, girl? Yeah, she gets the job done. She gets the job done. So what I'm waiting for is all those people selling their 2080s.
I got a 2060 or 70. I'll probably toss your way if I end up picking the 30 series.
I'm not selling my 2080 Ti anytime soon.
Oh no. Yeah,
That's
I mean, I think I'll get one in the future. Not quite yet. I think I'm gonna wait a little bit. But those 2070s and 2080s just outperform the cards so much. They really do that. Like I'll save up for one. Won't expect it to get any return because that'll be just like I want my games to look better for me and my clips to also look better for me, and that's pretty much it. It's just
Mhm.
about it's like Sadomi says. Like if you want to do something for your channel, why? Like you have to break it down. You can't just be like, it'll make my stream better. No, that's not a good enough reason. Like you have to have a why 100% of the time.
Mhm.
You guys got anything left on the graphics cards or the Twitch streaming in 1440p 120 fps?
One last thing. It'd be really interesting to see what those cards represent in terms of people who use single stream machines versus dual stream machines. Because there's a lot of folks out there right now. I didn't realize just how many stream with two PCs. Like they use a
Mhm.
capture card to from their gaming PC to their streaming PC.
A
And I'm
lot of
like
people
that.
do that.
Yeah, way more than I ever would have thought. I always thought capture cards were just for consoles. And then like the more that I've been exploring it, there's like people like they'll post like tutorial videos on how to like optimize gaming versus streaming PCs and all this kind of stuff. And so it was actually like brought up in the chat saying that like I'm a single system guy because it's also my workhorse for development. Yeah. So it's just like my PC, I would never even would have thought to go gaming plus streaming PC. Like my streaming PC is an all-in-one, right?
Mhm.
And but when you look at like the upcoming card, you can rationalize the purchase because it's like, well, do I want to spend $1,500 on a new PC, or do I want to future proof my one shot for $1,500 and get my 3090 whatever? You
Right.
know, so it's like there is like when like Sodomi was talking about like ROI, there's actually like value in the purchase depending on like your perspective on things. Because if you were about to invest
Yeah.
in a separate PC, this is a win-win solution. You know, it saves you space, it saves you all sorts of stuff, far less troubleshooting issues if like you can't figure out which one's the problem, all that kind of stuff. You know,
Mhm.
so it's something to think about. But it was a really good point that I brought up in the chat there, you know, because like
Yeah.
so many more people use dual PC setups that I had no idea.
Yeah, and for single, like, because I'm a single PC streamer as well, and I know that there's not any updates to the RTX part of these video cards. Like, it won't make your like the actual encoding of your streaming look any better or anything like that, but it will make the game run smoother for you, run faster, look better for you, and that could make the stream look better itself. But it does. They didn't upgrade anything yet when it comes to the actual stream performance side of it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's still the same as the 20 series as of right now in that regard. But I assume that's going to be changing in the future for sure.
Mhm.
Anything else on this one? No? Okay. So the last topic we have is Twitch bans employee Hassan following sexual misconduct allegations. I'm going to start with Sadomi on this one.
Fuck them.
Yup. Yup. It's
That's all I
about
got.
time.
I mean, that's kind of like the only thing I really say about it. Like, I mean, you know,
Mm-hmm.
if
It should,
granted, I'm not in the situation, I don't know all the facts. I just know what people have told. It's been put out there. But if everything comes out to be true, which I'm very 100% personally sure of, yeah, just screw them.
mm-hmm.
I mean, good amount finally, because that's just that has a lot of negative implications for every single partner on the platform.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It really does. It like I almost didn't bring this one up today just because I don't like I just hate the negativity that that's behind all this. It's just such a shitty thing. Um and it took them too long to do this, but I'm glad that it's finally happening. Like I didn't want to just like let this go unnoticed, you know what I mean? At the same time, it's just it's weird, man. It's really weird. Like I'm glad that I'm glad that he's gone now. I wish it would have happened sooner, but the fact that Twitch actually, went through and did this, I feel like they had no choice but to. But it's good that it finally happened. Nagata, what do you got on this one, man?
There were a couple of really interesting takeaways. Like my voice didn't crack like I'm 12-year-old. The first is that I found it really fascinating that so this situation was pretty big during speaking out stuff like that a couple of months ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many people remembered this allegation? It's like there were so many things that come to the forefront and they kind of fade to the wayside, which is really, really unfortunate because like this is like one of those things where victims always worry because like you're loud and everybody's behind you and it's rah, and then it's no longer trendy and then it's no longer rah. Right. And like, so like if he was never released, but he also just never like was a public figure again, nobody would have noticed. Nobody would have noticed. They would have been like, oh yeah, something must have happened, right? Something must have happened. But no, you just like everybody forgot until it was announced. And it's like, and to Twitch's credit, they did what should have been done, you know, in that regard. The biggest thing that I found interesting though, and something that's telling for a lot of situations where you have allegations of such severity is that internal investigations take a long time. You know, like I think we live in a world of you did something bad, you should be fired immediately, and the world doesn't work that way. Especially from like a corporate perspective, it's like these things all have to be fleshed out. You need to get a third party involved. They've got to break down all the stuff, and then even if you've reached a decision, I'm like, okay, I need to get rid of this person. What's their severance going to be? What do the NDAs look like? How many people are going to be involved? That we need to be like, okay, this is no longer a thing. Now we're gonna bury this. You know, lawyers have to like have everybody sign off on this, that, and the other thing, so you can't re-drag Twitch later. You know, all that kind of stuff. Like this is a process, you know, and it's like he's obviously, I would say he was probably the most prolific figure out of all the content creators and executives and everything else that, you know, were brought up during this unfortunate time. But it's one of those things where like you have to be patient, you know, you have to believe that the culture is such that they will do right by everybody. Unfortunately, sometimes it takes a lot of voices, a big voice, you know. If Vio's like original tweet doesn't gain traction, does he still have a job? He shouldn't, but the traction is what brought it up, right? It's like the traction went to Twitter and it went to LSF, and it's one of those things where like it's undeniable. I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to like large corporations and you have like a major figure. It has to be undeniable that this person has to be let go, because if you can sweep it under the rug, you're going to sweep it under the rug. So many corporations are like that. You know, so like so many folks have tried to sweep it under the rug. They'll do everything they can to be like, okay, let's just move on. You know, it wasn't that big a deal. Let's move on. But when you make it undeniable, and this is why it's really important when people are just like, I need you to believe me. And it's like, you need to be able to like believe the victim and resonate what they have to say and give like further voice to those victims. It's because if one person reports it and nobody touches on it, that person still has a job. You know, they get away with it. They will get away with it, you know? So like my biggest takeaway from this for sure was that like this took a lot longer, as you pointed out, Velokk, probably than it should have, but it also indicates this is how long it will take for especially for heavy hitters to be investigated and then terminated. So
Sadomi, you look like you wanted to chime in there.
No, that's like just, you know, corporate structure. Like things are going to take time, even unless it's something that is immediately threatening the health and public safety of those around. Is going to go through all the legal methods, because what Twitch doesn't want is a false firing lawsuit. They don't want that, because then that will also, and that's bad for whoever else was involved too, like any victims, because then they can get hit with other legal issues, which they don't want, more negative attention and then more doubt, and then it's just a whole fishy situation. So corporate wise, I think Twitch, I don't have all the full details because they're never going to release all the full details. They never will. That'd be dumb. But from what I'm like gathering, they did everything they did in their power and they made the right decision. And yeah, the corporate things take time. And when it comes to social media, Twitch isn't super agile, so that wasn't going to happen anyway. They're not going to be able to move super fast. But social media moves at the click of a button.
Right.
Like I'm sure very few people were thinking about that when they woke up this morning till just now.
Right.
So, you know, it's just welcome to 2020 of social media. It's going to take forever. Corporates can't keep up. Too many people involved.
Yeah, absolutely. There's not really like you guys have pretty much nailed everything. There's not really too much to talk about with this one. I just wanted to get that out there that Twitch actually did do something, even though it necessarily wasn't really up to them. You know what I mean? but it's cool. It's cool that they finally got it done. It did take a while, but like you guys said, that's what it takes. And if that's what it takes, it's worth taking that time. 100%. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I don't know if you guys have anything else on that topic, but I think we're good for the day, dude. Good show, homies. And everybody who was here, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for asking questions. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was a really fun time.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess we'll go with the outro right now. We still got a little bit of time, but Nagata, where can people find you, and what can they expect when they get there?
You can find me at Nagata2 right across the board: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, all of it. It's right now I'm currently splitting my time between playing Dragon Ball Fighters, which is what the thing that I've been playing for like the last 2 years, and I've been doing a little more just chatting. I renamed the format Just Bitching, and it's just every Thursday and Saturday I see Sadomi. Every so often he likes to pop in. It's like when we were talking earlier this last week, I guess, when like Subtember had its bug fix, whatever. Like that is exactly what that's meant for. I have no rules, I have no restrictions, and I just pop off because like sometimes you just it's this is the space that we're all invested in. So it's like it's going to elicit like an emotional response, and I don't like to cap anything when I decide to pop off. So no. So it's like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Dragon Ball, I play, I try to engage with my chat as much when I can, and then Thursday and Saturday I do just bitching streams. Come on in, join the conversation, have a good time.
Oh yeah, dude. Thanks for being on the show, man. It was awesome having you on again, and we'll definitely have to get you on again soon.
Yeah, man. Always a pleasure.
Thank you so much, dude. Pleasure having you on, dude. And then the awesome co-host Sadomi, what's going on, man? Where can people find you, and what can they expect when they get there, dude?
Thank you all for watching the show. Do appreciate it. I am Sadomi. You can find me at twitter.com/SadomiTV, or just Sadomi TV, where you can find it. I'm tweeting a lot of stuff right now about random things. I don't really have a discussion. The world's been kind of weird. 2020 is kind of I don't want to say a shit show, but it's kind of looking like a Taco Bell bathroom after a convention.
Interesting. Okay.
So yeah.
Awesome. And then for me, it's just VELOKK_TV on everything. I have been doing a lot, or not a lot, but I've started to do some just chatting, a little bit of Call of Duty still every once in a while, but yeah, everybody who was here, thank you guys so much for being here, listening, engaging with the chat and everything. You guys are awesome. If you have any questions for the next episode, hit us up on Twitter or in the Discord, and we'll get them next week. But thanks again, everybody, for hanging out. We love helping people out. We love talking about these things and hanging out with you guys every Monday. But yeah, so we'll see you guys next Monday, 11 a.m. EST, as always, in Sadomi.
Blaze it up.
There we go. Have a great day, guys. Make somebody's day better and be nice to other people. Later.